I've been enjoying playing with the spectrum of acceptance versus growth.
Mm.
That's an interesting duality. But I think this might be just a duality question in general, but specifically where I'm playing with it right now is freedom versus security.
Mm.
Um, I value freedom, variety. It seems to be something I value, but I also know I prioritize security in my life. And I'm just curious, how does Eros assist in navigating that spectrum, to bring in more choice, right? Versus old programs that probably need to fall away and updating that program into an area of choice.
What today's the day of great questions. Not the other questions that have been asked have been good, but so Eros. So the definition of Eros is that which connects, right? And so then the question, I think I talked about freedom and security, and security, and they're the two wings that make the bird fly. So then the question is, how do you find balance in such a way that you can get liftoff? And that's, for me, that's very much where an art comes in. My defiance can call it self-security, and my defiance can call itself whatever it wants. My defiance can call itself freedom, and my greed can call itself security. And if one's pulling too much, I don't actually get that perfect sense of that liftoff, that feeling of I'm safely flying, we'll say, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a stable, sustained experience of flight wherever I am. So then how do I do it? I think that becomes the art. And it's the same way I know in Japan, they tell you only eat until you're 80 or 90% full. But the cool thing is it makes you notice when you're getting close to full, because most people don't know until they've tipped over the edge. And so, I feel like that's a really good one with security. Like only acquire about 80 to 90% of what you feel you need. And that'll keep you light. And then in terms of the freedom, it's it's a balancing pose. So I tend to lean on that side, but only there's an invisible line of, if I go any further, I'll be scared. That's how you know when you've gone too far in the freedom. And then once you get scared, a whole series of negative things happen. You get scared, then you get self-justifying. Then once you get self-justifying, you get arrogant. That's the round that goes on that side. So I just notice. It's that same way I notice when I'm getting too full from eating. I notice when I'm getting that sort of, when it feels like my plane is starting to shake a little bit, even the slightest bit, when it's not in that smooth. And I have very, very clear markers. I have my reasons to live. I have my very, very clear markers of the highest, most clear expression of life sensation that I want to live inside of. And so I have something to compare it to. Is it like this, or is it like this, or am I right in the middle? That's the interior, how to work it. That's the only way I know.
Thank you. That's helpful. Thank you.
And then this is the last thing I'll say. And then when you find that, or when I found that place, it began to tell me what to do in the everyday world. I no longer had any more questions like, oh, I don't want that. I don't need that. Oh, I really do want that. I really do need that. And then the reason the feeling is so important is that it's a compass for how to live your life according to the most abiding sensation of deepest gratification and fulfillment.